guys, I am Dr. Komal Mehta and I have secured a rank of 1648 in this NEET PG 2024 examination. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how exactly I studied for this exam. And maybe in the future videos, I can talk about how y'all should be studying and if I have any tips or tricks to crack this exam. So let's get started. So how I studied, I'm going to be briefly talking about how I divided my year into bits and pieces and what exactly I did in those months. So let's start from April to November is when I started doing my first read. And now when I say first read, I'm going to talk about the resources that I used. I used Marrow as a platform, and I used to do rapid revision of Marrow. I never in my whole prep did any of the main notes of Marrow because I thought they were frankly too long, and I am a person who requires a lot of revisions when I'm reading something, and I really did not think that I could reread or revise the main notes. So I took up the rapid revision notes or the RR notes, and I started reading them and watching their videos. Along with that, I used to solve the modules or the Q bank of Marrow. And for example, if I'm doing the subject of dermatology, I would see the videos, I tried reading the notes of the rapid revision, and after that I would start solving the modules or the Q bank which is associated with that particular subject. So I used to solve all the MCQs that Marrow has provided in the Q bank. Apart from that, I used to also give grand tests every week. So let's say on a Sunday was my grand test day, and I used to start at around 9 and I used to give a grand test on that day without fail. After the test got over, I used to take a break. I used to try and take a nap, have my lunch, just relax, and then I used to take up the review. Now I will definitely suggest to start solving grand tests from a very early stage, because you basically, when you just start out, you will start out with the agenda of just discovering how are the questions asked, or what your theory is, how is it being tested. That is more important. The marks in the start are not important, so don't be discouraged. You should not be depressed or sad after seeing the marks of the GT, because these marks are not at all important. Nobody is going to ask you your GT marks. I myself used to score very low in the start GTs. I used to get around 100 to 120, which is not a great score. So I used to really not do well, and I would be lying if I say I wasn't sad or I wasn't depressed when I saw bad marks, but I used to get over them, because these marks are not important. You have to keep reminding that to yourself. But what is important is your exam taking skill. What is important is you studying or sitting down in one place for 200 minutes and attempting the paper, and forming that habit of attempting 200 MCQs at a go is very, very important. So I will definitely recommend start giving GTs, start analyzing your mistakes, start seeing what kind of questions are asked, because without knowing that, you are learning things in a very incomplete manner. So once you know what kind of questions are asked, you will know how to study for it accordingly. So GTs are very important, and you have to give them every week. And I will definitely suggest reviewing the GT on the same day itself, because the more you procrastinate and you do it on a later date, what is going to happen is you're going to start forgetting how you attempted those questions or what kind of questions were even asked. So there are questions where you will attempt it despite not knowing it, and by fluke you will attempt it. You probably will get it right or you probably will get it wrong, but the whole psyche of you attempting that question will be forgotten over this period of days that you don't review your GT. So I'll definitely suggest that you review it on the same day, no matter how long it takes. I used to take longer to review the GTs and to actually give the GT, but I used to tell myself that I will not go to sleep until and unless I review the GT. So I used to review the GT without fail, and I used to write it down in a mistake book. Now this mistake book had all the things I got wrong, had all the things I did. I got it right also by fluke. So I used to write the reason why It is correct. And I used to write all the unknown or unheard points that I see in the explanations. You have to read even the right questions, the explanation that whatever your coaching platform is providing you. You have to see why that question is right. Maybe there's an extra table that you have not seen before, not heard of before, or it simplifies something that you've already heard of. But please read it. It is a revision. It is very important. So yeah, definitely I will tell you all to give GTs. And I really enjoyed reading Marrow RR. I think it is a great. They have concised it well. All the important points are there, and yeah. So that is what I did from April to November. Now from November to Jan, I had a bit of a slump and I couldn't study as much. I had a hectic posting, a hectic life, and I kind of took a break from the whole NEET prep. Then from Jan to March, I started trying to do my second revision. But again, now Jan to March, what happened was our exams got postponed, and there was a lot of inertia from my side to start studying again, because abhi to exam July August mein hai, abhi kahan by to July mein hai. Why should I start studying from now? So I took it lightly at that point. But what I did was, because I was so bored of reading Marrow, I took up BTR, because that was something I'd not done, and now I had the time. So I was like, might as well see what BTR also has to offer. And for me, BTR changed my life. I really loved the BTR format, and Dr. Zainab ma'am, I think she was amazing, and I will forever be grateful for her. I really enjoyed BTR, and by BTR I mean the whole package of BTR. If you're someone who has just done the main notes of BTR, and that also superficially, then you're not doing it correctly. You have to do BTR, you have to do bonus BTR, you have to do the integrated sections, you have to do the ENTs, which are basically her MCQ solving and MCQ discussion videos, which are also very important. You have to do her mega INI, mega NEET series, choti copy series, basically everything that she puts up on that particular platform. You have to do everything, and you have to do it really, really well, and at the same time you have to supplement it with something else. So for me, what I supplemented it was Marrow RR. So I did Marrow RR along with BTR and the whole of BTR. So that is what I did after March, and I kept reading again and again and again all the revision notes, to a point where I knew exactly on that particular page which all tables are there, what are my mnemonics, what are the colors of highlighters I have put on that particular page. So I remembered in that kind of way. I have a very pictorial memory, and for me that worked. So I'll definitely suggest that take up whatever coaching you're taking, make sure it is first of all enough, and second of all, most of the coaching platforms give enough content. So I don't think all the main ones are doing half-hearted work. No matter what you do, prep, Marrow, dams, I think all of them are great, but make sure whatever you pick up, that is something which is revisable, and it is something which you look forward to read. So, and you do it completely. Don't do anything half-heartedly, because half-hearted knowledge is something that will not help you in this paper. And then March onwards, I used to, as I said, I kept reading, I kept revising. Along with that, I used to give GTs, and along with that I used to solve custom modules. So I used to do 100 custom modules, 100 MCQs ka custom modules, so 101 custom module of 100 questions each in the morning. So 7:30 to 9:30 was my 120 minutes ka timer, which I used to put for solving 100 questions. And in that 120 minutes, I used to write down whatever I got wrong. I used to write down what I got wrong. I used to read all the explanations which are there for those 100 questions, and basically used to do them well. Next is choti copy. So I can't stress on how important it is for you to make a choti copy. If you've not made a choti copy yet, you have a lot of time. You should definitely make a choti copy, because that is something that you will read 2-3 days before the paper, when you are so overwhelmed. There's so much content. Even RR or even BTR has so much to read that you will not be able to read everything 2-3 days before the paper. So it is important to make a choti copy of all the topics that you find volatile, or something that you don't necessarily will remember right now, or something that you keep making mistakes on, even though you remember it, but there are still silly mistakes that are going to happen. So for me, my choti copy included a lot of anatomy, a lot of biochem, a lot of microbio. So all of those things I used to put it in my choti copy, and that is what I did 2-3 days before the paper. And it is very important. You have to keep even editing your choti copy according to your needs. So now, right now, maybe let's say for example, your porphyrias or something that you find very difficult right now, but the more and more questions you solve on it, maybe it gets easier for you, so then you can remove that from your choti copy. But let's say I too never understood porphyria till the end. I used to keep making mistakes because I used to keep forgetting it, so I had to see this one day before the paper. So that was in my choti copy. I will also talk about how to make a choti copy, and I'll show you all how I made a choti copy. And I basically made a choti copy on my iPad, so I will I can make a different video on that. But for now, make a choti copy is the conclusion. Now coming to also how to read a RR effectively, something that I will also like to talk about in a different video, because already this video is really long. So yeah, that also will be a different video. Next, as I said, I read BTR bonus, integrated, END, MCQ solving videos, choti copy, INI, mega NEET, mega INI, whatever she had to offer, whatever Zainab ma'am had to offer, had done it well, and it helps. Trust me, amazing way of concising and amazing way of teaching. I will definitely, this video is not at all sponsored. I don't think I like I it's not at all sponsored. So I'm genuinely recommending everybody to take up BTR and to take up Cerebellum and to take up Zainab ma'am, because she's amazing. I also would recommend Marrow, because I feel like the user interface is really nice. They have great GTs, and they have great tests and MCQs, and they are very much like what is asked in the exam. So I'll definitely recommend Marrow as well. And mistake book, as also I already told you all about, the mistake book that I made was for my GTs, and for whatever custom modules and whatever I got wrong used to go in the mistake book. So this is how I studied in a very brief manner. If you all have any doubts, or if you all want me to make any particular video next, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you all next time. All the best.